Let's start with Tennocon, huh? Tenno.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun
What was a
yesterday.
fun thing yesterday? I
You
watched.
you wouldn't know.
I was there. I watched. I got the weapon. I watched quite a bit of Tennocon,
Did you
actually.
get the Hydroid Prime
I think I
in the
did.
slot? No, I don't think you did. I don't think you did
I don't
because
think I
you
did.
weren't. You were only there at the beginning.
Well, how do you get this? How do you get this? I might have.
I
I don't
think you
know.
had to. You had to be there during TennoLive, which
I
was
think I
the
actually already have.
big part. Well, you
I
get a
think I have.
character slot if you. And there's a reason to have dupes now, but not prime dupes, so never mind.
Okay.
But I'll get to that in the news.
Um. Yeah, it was neat. I watched the art. That was the first one. Was the Art of Warframe. That was a good. That was actually really neat. I love seeing artwork and how it's laid out and how they do that kind of stuff. That's also great to hear from those, the people in the art departments, because they're really neat. They do good work. I also saw that Heart of Deimos. That's their.
Well,
Go ahead.
you didn't. You didn't say the one news thing that happened from the art section. That was pretty neat.
Okay, go ahead.
They Digital Extremes actually hired a popular like fan artist designer in the game. I think his name is like Liger.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. Yep. Liger.
yeah, and he has had like this famous like fan design for a frame called Wraith for a long time, and they are going to be putting that in the game. It looks kind of like Necros a little bit.
Okay.
Pretty goth design. He looks pretty cool.
Very, very sleek. Very like things that kind of roll down. Uh. Very.
And he has designed two other new frames that are going to be in the game. One of them is Zaku. They showed him off quite a
Zaku?
bit. Yeah, it's spelled Xaku, not Zaku, so it's not
Okay, it's not
Gundam.
Zaku.
No,
Okay.
no, he has more than one eye. Well, actually, I don't know. His
I don't
eyes
really
aren't
see any
really
eyes.
distinct,
No, I don't.
or their eyes aren't really distinct.
No Warframe has eyes, and if they do, it's a horror. You know, you don't want to see a Warframe with eyes, now, do you?
I feel like there are some, but I'm not. Whatever.
Let's go to
Anyway,
Rapid in chat. Let us know. Do Warframe have eyes? Question. For you.
For
they have lenses, so
how big are their feet? That's why I really.
I know you're a big feet guy, and you really gotta know.
Wish I didn't say that out loud, but okay.
I mean,
well, the
listen.
design of this new frame, Zaku, is pretty interesting. They are like a skeleton with a glowing energy and pieces of armor like attached to them, and their abilities involve like flinging off the pieces of armor and reabsorbing them. Seems like a cool design, pretty neat. The other one they showed is an unnamed like alchemist.
Chemical, yeah.
Yeah, and not much info on that one. Who knows when them and Wraith will be in the game. That's the one thing that I have to say from this Tennocon and TennoLive. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff that'll be much further in the future of the game.
It
was
that.
a lot of stuff just focused on Heart of Deimos, which comes out at the end of this month, like August 25th, which is probably a good idea. The past couple years, they've talked about content that gets delayed or it comes out and it's maybe a little bit underdeveloped or has bugs like Railjack,
right.
Which has been fixed now, but it's probably a good idea with the way Digital Extremes is having to work now that they are just showing off stuff that's basically ready to go. It's pretty smart. It's very Nintendo of them to do that kind of thing.
There's a Mary. They're adding a big mouth, a big mouth to the ship. There's a big
They're
mouth.
adding Audrey too from Little Shop of Horrors into
Yes.
your infestation room,
It's a big
which
mouth.
makes sense because a Heart of Deimos is all infestation themed. You are going on this
for the
one moon
system.
of Mars, which I know because of Sailor Moon, the crows Phobos and Deimos. And I was like, oh, okay, I get what this is. But yeah, it's a whole bunch of interesting lore about the infestation and the Orokin and all of that stuff. Rapid on the Giant Bomb forums and who runs the Giant Bomb Warframe Alliance, he has a very good write-up of the lore
Yeah, right through.
and of Tennocon. And so yeah, I recommend going to giantbomb.com and looking that up.
See, Pop, when you got onto this podcast, you didn't know this is actually our chance to trap you and bring you into the Warframe to make you a Tenno. This has been all set up for you to
Space
become
Ninjas play free.
Space Ninjas play free. Welcome to Tenno. But I thought it was really neat. Like, I think all
It
the
was
stuff
really
they had.
neat, especially in the very last segment, the TennoLive segment. They actually integrated the live stream into the actual
missed that.
game.
I missed.
That
I should have
part
been
was
there.
very neat. It was very
You were there,
cool.
right?
Yes.
You were there.
Yeah. I had a second monitor with the stream up, and my main monitor, I was in the Earth relay for TennoLive, and at periodic parts, they would be like, okay, here's this section of the game, and you would instantly get transported to like a little diorama kind of type area, and they would show like in-game like models of stuff that's you're going to be
It's
playing
really
in like
cool.
a month, and it was very neat. Especially the section that showed the necromechs, which are a new.
That's a great name. That's a great name.
They're very cool looking. They're like almost like the Kobuns from Sakura Wars, like in the design, but they're black and gold and have a skeleton inside of them, like a skull face dude. They are very cool looking. They're big. You will get to pilot one in third person. You will get to fight them. I'm looking forward to this whole update. Like,
it got me to play more Warframe again when I was watching the stream stuff. So
yeah,
I'm back.
I forgot to say, with like the new upgrades to your infestation room and adding the Audrey 2 like style, like talking
Gallows rod.
Oh my god! It's rolling around in his mouth.
Some hexanon.
Okay, yeah, okay.
big infestation plant thingy. They're actually adding in a system where you can feed duplicate frames into it, and you will unlock like abilities from that frame that you can swap out into whatever frame you're using. Yeah, so it's like Pokemon almost. And I think that's a really neat system because, yeah, I like using Frost Prime all the time, but I don't necessarily use like the number 2 ability very often. So I could swap that out with something else that might be more useful. And that's a neat idea.
Does that work with like primes? Like the primes?
No, it doesn't work with primes. Which is probably a good idea because you don't really get duplicate primes that easily.
No, I mean,
it would be bad to like slot them.
Could
into
you
your
slot?
primes?
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure once you feed a frame into that like Audrey 2 type thing, it'll basically unlock that ability for all of your different frames.
So that's a good way to, like, if you had, like, I think I have Volt unprimed, and then I have Prime Volt. Like, then I could just, feed them into the giant mouth, my unprimed one, and then I will have those abilities to use with I assume. I don't know the exact specifics.
Yeah,
of how that works.
exactly. Like, instead of just selling him for credits, which is what I would do, like, I would level him up all the way, and so I could
Yep.
get, like, mastery rank or whatever, and just sell him.
And then feed
Now,
him.
now I can, like, actually unlock abilities. Like, if I find there's an ability I actually like, I can use it on my other ones. So that's a pretty neat
Yeah.
idea.
It's a neat system, and it adds like a dynamic depth to like combat and setups and builds and stuff like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Sounds like you
Um,
make some very OP combos. Like,
Yes.
sounds like you could break the game.
They have said that not every ability, especially not the ultimates, which are like the level 4 abilities, you won't be able to just like slot those
Well,
into everybody because that
That would be insane.
Yeah, and there are definitely some certain frames where their ability sets, like Limbo or whatever, wouldn't necessarily like translate into just taking one ability out and putting it into others.
Oh, come on, Mary.
Um,
Limbo translates everywhere. Everybody loves Limbo.
He's got a stupid hat and I hate him. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, I could see them coming out with it and parts of it being broken, and they're like, well, we're gonna update that and it'll get balanced. But I think it's a really neat idea. It's a neat way to add to the game for sure.
And this is, I'll say this about Tennocon, kind of bigger picture. This is what I wanted from kind of the E3, a lot of these E3 streams. Like, give us like a little bit more, like a little bit more, just like, talking to creators, talking to like, people who do this. Like that's more interesting than I think what we've gotten. Like, I think this is the best E3 type event, big event that we've had all year, honestly.
Yeah, and they didn't do it just for like filler. Like, they actually had some
Yep.
stuff to talk about. They didn't use it because, by the way, we don't actually have any real announcements. So here we are talking to like a sound designer or whatever, in my opinion. Yeah,
It was very good.
it was pretty neat. The only part that I was not psyched for is that you're getting like a claptrap style little dude that hangs out with you and talks to you incessantly in the Deimos open world area.
Tenno. You received our distress signal. Mother will be pleased.
What? Visitors? Look at you now, a real chip off the old monolith, huh? Just the right sort to save us from the coming cataclysm. Come on!
We just met the totally not claptrap, bipolar.
Steve. And Warframe has enough of those. Like, you already have the Orbis. At least you can turn off his like voice volume all the way. There's like in the market the annoying and ass announcer dude who has like the same lines over and over, and I'm sick of hearing him. Like, I don't want another annoying little dude trying to be funny all the time. Like,
Yeah,
no.
I could see that.
They even made fun of it in the stream, and then like, here's our fake claptrap, and I was like, after Gary and I had already said like, oh no, they're putting another claptrap in the game. And so, like, they know what they're doing. But
They know.
No, don't. Why?
It's an
I
addiction.
guess some people like them, I guess. But, yeah, I was not a fan. Even though he looks cool. He's, like, a glowing skull with, like, a cool, crazy, like, gold coin giant hat. He looks kind of neat.
He's got a nice
but
hat.
He's annoying as hell. Sorry.
I think it's because it's like it's fun to write those characters, in a certain respect, because then you start them off as annoying, and then you end up warmly regarding them over time.
No,
You can
no,
have
you
deep
end up
emotional moments.
you
with them.
end up adding an option to make their voice volume down to 0. That's what happens.
Oh, poor I can't believe you've done that to my boy Orbis. I just don't know. Beautiful baby boy Orbis got his voice taken from him. Yeah, Tennocon. Great event. I'm playing more Warframe. Let's convince Popcans. Here we go.
Look, man, I like Warframe. I just can't.
I know. It's a big commitment. Any MMO is. I mean, no problem. I'm just teasing.
The thing is, I'm actually bummed that I didn't watch it yesterday because I really wanted that gun. I guess
You want that gun?
I
Sweet
don't.
gun.
I don't want to miss out on getting the loots, and I missed out on the loots. I feel bad about
Yeah,
that.
got it.
So, therefore, I would not play Warframe.
Ever
I
again.
actually, they were streaming this on Steam, and I've had problems with Twitch drops.
Mm.
Like, even though I've connected it, I've disconnected it, I've done things over and over again, like they say to, and it still hasn't worked, but all of the Steam drops worked. So I was excited for that. Also, they had a fun little trivia contest with like a
Yeah.
Twitch widget, and that was fun. Like, it was fun the amount of like actual participation they were able to integrate into this. Like having a contest. It was a lot of fun. I still miss the cosplay contest. There wasn't enough fashion frame judging for my tastes.
More
Like,
fashion.
there were only a few, and Reb was not in it. Like, you could tell one of the entries was very JoJo's, like, inspired, and it was basically, like, pandering to her tastes as a judge, but she wasn't judging at that time, so the other judges didn't really pick up on that. But yeah, it was surprisingly a neat stream for, like, it took up all Saturday, kind of, and I wasn't expecting that for some reason. But yeah, there was one piece of news that they didn't really detail that much, which I wish they had. Also, as part of this Heart of Deimos update in August, they are doing a new player experience tutorial thing. But they did not really detail in any way, like, what that'll be.
Okay.
And I've heard, like, that's a big thing with Warframe, is that there's a lot of stuff to this game now, and it can get pretty overwhelming pretty quickly.
Just a little bit.
So having more of a guide is a good idea, and it's kind of disappointing they didn't really detail it that much. They did say that it won't just be like new players that get access to it. Like, if you have an account, you can just you can access it when it does show up, which is a good idea, because I'm sure there are some players that like tried it out and they're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and then didn't go back.
Honestly, that's not something that people who are watching Tennocon would really need, though. So
That's true. But still, like, the people that are watching Tennocon are the people that would try and convince their friends to come back. So I think having a little bit of information on what that would be a good idea. But yeah, I hope it's good. I hope it works.
yeah, that event actually sounds pretty amazing with what you said, with all the participation that they did. And I know Albie said like more E3 events should have been more like that, but no, honestly, I'm not sure how many there's not many games where people are actually interested in interviews with the developers. So I'm not sure how something like this could have been. I'm not sure this could have been done with like the Microsoft stream or anything, but yeah, I think it sounds amazing what they did. Honestly, like the fact that you can like with all the in-game stuff too. That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome, really. So
Yeah, I think like EA tried with the way they were trying to like give away games with the dumb like letters that would show up or whatever, but that felt really corny and kind of half-assed, and this was not like that. It was well done. But yeah, I was impressed. A lot of the new stuff looks very cool. I
Very
want to
neat.
play it.